The second handset for the 6053 just turned into a massive freak show. I was testing the battery, giving it some discharging to see if I could make it cooperate, and then I noticed the handset was having some give to it, like it wasn't screwed on properly. And sure enough, it was not. This is something I've never seen before. One of the screws I just lost from trying to fix this, but it was all screwed, but this screw was doing nothing, and that's because of something I've never seen before. One of the posts on the front shell that holds the handset together broke off. So this was not held together. So I was sold what I thought was a fully working handset, but instead it doesn't stay together. So I got a good charger, but the handset is just e-waste now. I'm going to see if I can get some money back, but if I don't, then I have to save up for another handset, but the charger works. And this would turn out to be just like what I did for the 9344 second handset, actually. The charger was fine. That was also a seller doesn't accept returns listing, and that was a common failure of the display not working. The charger worked, so I just replaced that handset. This was all at temp home. But I've never seen something like this before. Wonder if this handset took a beating or something, or the quality just wasn't good when making this. So some people criticize the newer Panasonic stuff for not being very good. This is an older model, and it's having a very strange issue, so it's just up and down. It's very weird. The board is just as you'd expect. This is new enough so that the earpiece is on the board instead of wired. On the 5243, the earpiece was connected with wires, and that was on the front shell, so the front shell couldn't be fully removed like it can here. I also took apart the 6434 like I mentioned in that video. I mean, the 641 handset, when my original plan was to get a metallic gray 6432, and that was the same way. The front shell does not have any components connected to it. On the back side, there's a section with a bunch of letters. M, C, B, X, A, L, N, Z, A something, I can't make that last one out, L, A, L, B, L, C, R, U, and T, H. And these are country suffixes. This is a 5.8 gigahertz phone in all of these countries, so the circuitry is the same, the software is different. For example, BX is for Middle East, and that has dial lock, but we don't have that. And then Australia and New Zealand would have the set area code option. That works just like it does on Uniden and AT&T and VTech phones here in the US. Panasonic here instead uses Caller ID Edit, which is, in my opinion, a much better version of a feature, because, like I mentioned before, you can use any format for any area code you want. So M is metallic gray in the US. They just use that to represent all the US ones, so that is M for metallic gray, S for silver, B for black, as in the case of this broken handset, and then the numbers 01 through 12, which are the non-standard colors. C is Canadian, but then a color suffix comes after for any of the other countries. BX is Middle East. AL is Australia. I don't know why it's not AU. NZ is New Zealand. LA, LB, and LC are Latin America. RU is Russia. And TH is, I guess, Thailand. And then there's a last blank. And notably missing is ME for Mexico. I guess Mexico might have not gotten the 60 series until after this particular handset build, or they just don't put it on the board at all, or it just falls into Latin America. The button pad was oily. I wasn't expecting that, though, because the buttons work surprisingly well. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case on the first handset as well. But I'm not taking that apart, and thankfully that one does not have the flaw that this one had. That one was not used as much, and the usage time is less than 2,000 days, and this is not new enough to remove the 2,731 day cap on the usage time. Take two. The second handset replacement has just now arrived, and it's in much better condition. This time the navigator key looks correct. There's some wear on the buttons, but that's to be expected for a 2007 one. But most importantly, it does not have any give to it that makes it seem like it's going to come apart, and it cannot come apart without taking the screws off. So this is in very good physical condition. I used one of the button sequences while putting the battery in, or when the handset rebooted from a dead battery, to forget its original base. This was registered as number 3 to a base, just like handset 1 to the system is. And in both cases, in handset 1's case anyways, the serial number ended with a C. So this, I guess, happened from at least from 2005 to 2007. The end of the serial number, there would be a space, and then A for handset 1, B for handset 2, and so on. And so the serial number actually tells you, based on that, whether it has that last letter, what handset to a set it was registered to. So the silver handset has a C at the end of a serial number, and it was handset free when I bought at EcoThrift. So that is, in fact, its original registration encoded into the handset serial number. So they do it at the factory, and then they give it the serial number based on that registration. Because I checked my 558 original handsets, and they all have the same serial number aside from the letter at the end. So A, B, and C, one was originally handset 1, handset 2, handset 3. I did not know that when I was replacing my 5632 handset, so I think in that case they're both B's, or I forget. Either way, now we have to register this to my 6053 as handset 2. And by the way, on the not registered screen, this is the only time these two soft key, the common 5.8, 2.4 design of having two soft keys with the physical menu button between them, this is the only time the soft key still shows and therefore says please lift up and try again. But now that message is displayed, that soft key, when pressing it again, will not show it, and the left soft key has no function, so it doesn't do it. On the decked models now, it does do that, but then on the 641 and 740 and 642, it does not do that, even though this is technically a free soft key 5.8ified design. I guess it's because they're not shown, so they literally want it to be programmed as such. But then we get to proper decked models. All proper decked models have always been this way. Oh, we better start registering before it times out. So it's registering now. Hopefully the base didn't time out on me. This battery is working well enough to register. Come on. The base might have timed out already. Okay, so the base did time out on me. Let's try it again. And now this is number 2. This had no phomic entries in it, compared to the first attempt. Also no colorless entries, just like the first one. It had redial entries. The first one was a caller ID entry. So it was dialed from a missed call. And so I do have some more entries for my CNAM database. I have noted those down before deleting them, so now I can look over that and put them into my system off video. This is obviously going to have the number from my system. Let's see how this was used. The alarm was turned off, and when you turn it off, it resets. I figured the ring was just on the default settings. I don't think the ring color is, yep, that's also on default. Voice answer is, of course, off. Otherwise, we'd see that. No phone book entries are stored. Talking call ID on. Still says phone help. So I don't think they ever changed that on during the 30 and 60 series production run. I still don't know what they do on the newer ones. Obviously, the answering system's in the base, so that's all set. Message alert. Yeah, so this is all the default settings. So this was literally factory settings aside from the fact that this had readout entries in it. That's all factory as well. Keytones, of course, on. Auto talk was, of course, off by default. Yep, so everything is as default. No surprise that that just zapped out when I increased the volume. I really hope this battery's not on its way out. The one in the first attempt for the second handset was as well. That is all working.
This is a testing message. Jumps over the lazy dog. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That is all working.
7, 8, 9, 10. Check with Tyler's testing code line is powered by TDX.
Since this is a recheckout, I already have the test message recorded from the initial version of this, but we obviously want to make sure this works, so I'm going to use my record playback feature instead. Well, actually, I'm going to do a voicemail because I can delete it instead of saving it. This is a test to make sure this second attempt at handset 2 works on talk mode and on speakerphone mode.
Thank you.
This is a test to make sure this second attempt at handset 2 works on talk mode and on speakerphone mode.
Press 1 to...
That is working. Okay, so we are all set with this handset. We are now ready to put that on Phone Island.